Hey everyone, I'm Tay, and welcome to another video. Today I'll be discussing one of my favorite YA fantasy books, Six of Crows, written by Leigh Bardugo. Because this is a book review, I will be discussing in depth the content of this book. I'm giving a spoiler warning now. Continue watching at your own risk. Thank you! Please note that I am leaving out major character arcs and am simply talking about my likes and dislikes of the six main characters. Kaz Brekker is where the story all starts. He is the leader of the Dregs, one of the most notorious gangs in the city of Ketterdam, and described in the synopsis as a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Kaz is an interesting character to read about, but not one of my personal favorites. Described as cold-hearted and ruthless, Kaz will do any job for enough money, no matter how difficult or dangerous it proves to be. His main goal within the story is to get revenge on Pekka Rollins, who was responsible for some parts of Kaz's past. While his motives are interesting, I find it hard to relate to Kaz, making him a harder character to read about. Inej Ghafa is probably my second favorite character. What's not to love about a girl with talent such as tightrope walking and knife throwing? Described as a spy known as the Wraith, Inej is notorious in Ketterdam for her skills, leading her to be recruited by Kaz. She is of Suli heritage and raised as a performer. While she tends to be quiet, Inej is extremely ambitious. I personally really like that there is a religious character, and I find it really enjoyable that she named her knives after saints. Inej is often quoting Suli proverbs as well, which is something I find unique. Jesper Fahey is an interesting character and probably, unfortunately, my least favorite. He is Zemini born and also a fabricator. He could have had a lot going for him, but I tended to find him boring, and his constant gambling got annoying. He's said to be a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager. However, I prefer to classify him as someone obsessed with the 3 Gs: guns, gambling, and gays. So ultimately, while I did find him boring, it was super nice to see some bisexual representation. Jesper uses gambling and gunfights as a distraction for his ADHD and anxiety, which is something I can relate to, as I often try to find distractions to combat my own anxiety. Wylan Van Eck is a fantastic character to read about. He is the runaway with a privileged past. He is Jan Van Eck's son, one of the most powerful merchants in all of Ketterdam. However, he runs away due to his father's constant verbal abuse. Because of his past, he's not as used to violence as the other crows, allowing him a more unique perspective. He's a skilled chemist, but also a lover of the arts. He's described as shy early within the books, but it's easy to see that he is only shy because of his father, as he steps out of his shell once he realizes he's a valued member of the team. Wylan is also a gay character, and it is really refreshing to see gay representation within the novel. It's also refreshing to see representation for a character with dyslexia. Matthias Helvar is a character. I don't love him in the first book, unfortunately. However, my opinions of him do improve upon the reading of the sequel, Crooked Kingdom. He is cruel and cold-hearted and described as a convict with a thirst for revenge, and we first see him in prison as the crows are breaking him out. He obsessively hates Grisha, a trait common for Fjordan people, despite him having a soft spot for Nina. His feelings for her are so hot and cold it provides a really frustrating will-they-won't-they situation, except you don't want them together because he wants her dead. Enemies to lovers, I guess. Now is finally time for me to talk about my favorite character, the bisexual queen Nina Zenik. First of all, let me start by saying it is really nice to see a female bisexual character, as they are often forgotten about in the media. Described as a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, Nina is bold and loud and incredibly fun to read about. She's also described as being plus-sized and loving food, which is a nice addition. She's loyal to her home country of Ravka above everything else, and this serves as her main motivation throughout the story. All of this leads me to the realization that I like Nina the most due to me seeing myself in her, and characters that remind you of yourself are always the most enjoyable to read about. The magic system is something I find really interesting and unique. It's split into 3 orders: Corporal Key, which is the Order of the Living and the Dead, Material Key, which is the Order of Fabricators, and Ethereal Key, which is the Order of Summoners. While written like magic, Six of Crows' term for this is the Small Sciences. Going into more detail, the Corporal Key is the order that is most developed within Six of Crows, due to Nina Zenik being a Heartrender, one of the sub-orders within Corporal Key. The 3 sub-orders within Corporal Key are Heartrenders, Tailors, and Healers, although there is a lot of overlap between the 3. Corporal Key members can slow your pulse and stop your heart. They can heal you, or they can even change your physical features, which can be temporary or permanent depending on their skill. Material Key is the 2nd order and is the least talked about within any of the series, but that does not make them any less important. The 2 suborders are Duras, which specialize in Grisha textiles, such as Grisha steel, and Alchemy, which specialize in poisons and blasting powders. Collectively, they are known as Fabricators. Material Keys in general are most known for providing armies with weapons and armor. While not as developed within Six of Crows, Ethereal Key is more heavily developed within Shadow and Bone, another book written by Lee Bardugo, which takes place roughly 2 years before Six of Crows. Suborders within Ethereal Key include Squallers, who can manipulate the air around you, Tide Makers, which can manipulate the water around you, and Inferni, which can start and stop fires. Shadow Summoners and Sun Summoners would also fall within this suborder, although they are extremely uncommon. It is worth noting that the Ethereal Key cannot create, they can only manipulate what is around them. Before I get on with the heist, please know that I am heavily summarizing due to time restrictions, and I also want you guys to be able to read Six of Crows without knowing the exact plot. The heist, which is the main plot of the book, starts when Wylan Van Eck offers Kaz Brekker the deal of a lifetime, breaking Wylan Van Eck, a shoe scientist, out of the ice court, an impenetrable prison. Kaz gathers a group of 5 other criminals to help him complete the heist, including Nina, Matthias, Jesper, Wylan, and Inej. Together, they set off to Fjorda, where they are attacked by Pekka Rollins. They narrowly escape with their lives before continuing on their journey. Once they arrive, they are attacked by Grisha under the influence of Dreda Parem, a drug that amplifies a Grisha's power but leaves them under the influence of whoever gave them the drug due to the intense withdrawal symptoms. They once again narrowly escape death. The Crows continue making their way to the ice court, and Kaz says their only way in is to pretend to be a prisoner. This works, and with Jesper using his fabricator skills, he breaks Matthias, Kaz, Wylan, and himself out of their cells. Kaz and Wylan then go on to break Nina and Inej out. They had initially planned to enter the ice court as guests, but because they had ran into guards while escaping, there had to be a change of plans. Inej suggests she and Nina sneak in as performers. While Nina is able to make her way in, Inej is not and is consequently detained for questioning. Nina, once inside, is relieved to see that Kaz and Matthias have made it as well. She makes her way around the party, looking for an official who might slip where Wylan Van Eck is being held. Nina sees Charles Brum, the officer who had imprisoned her last year. Nina, hoping he doesn't recognize her, starts conversing with him before getting him to lead her to see Wylan Van Eck. However, she was tricked and is instead led to a cell where Jarl threatens to release Dreda Parem. Matthias walks in, leaving Nina to think he betrayed her and the others. Matthias asks about Wylan Van Eck, and Jarl responds that as long as he cooperates, he will be left alive, and that he is on the other side of the door and that he has the key. Matthias embraces Jarl but gives him an injection, rendering him unconscious before breaking Nina out. Together, they make their way to finding Bo. However, instead of finding him, they find his son Kuwei, who reveals that his father was killed a long time ago. Matthias and Nina ask him to destroy the lab, and he agrees. They then set off together. Meanwhile, as Inej is being escorted to prison, she is intercepted by Wylan and Jesper, who are disguised as guards. Together, they break through Grisha glass, escaping the other guards, and steal a tank. Nina, Matthias, and Kaz also escape underwater. When they meet up on the tank, they make their way out. However, as they approach the hill, they see hundreds of troops who demand they return Kuwei to them. Nina knows the only way to escape this is to take Parem, and against the pleas of the fellow Crows, Nina asks Kuwei for a dose and he obliges. Her enhanced power gives her complete control over all the enemy troops, but she spares them for Matthias before the Crows escape. On the voyage back, everyone watches Nina to make sure she is okay after her dose of Parem, where the side effects of withdrawal are fatal. Arriving back to Ketterdam, Kaz sends for Wylan Van Eck, saying they've completed the heist. When Wylan Van Eck arrives, he threatens to destroy their ships. Kaz says not to because Wylan, his son, is on it, but Jen does it anyways. This causes Kaz to reveal that Wylan has actually been tailored to look like Kuwei. Furious, Van Eck takes Inej and gives Kaz 1 week to deliver the real Kuwei or Inej will be tortured. Overall, I really enjoyed the book and I've given it 5 stars. The characters, while I didn't like all of them, were for the most part entertaining, and even if I didn't like a character, I still found their backstories to be interesting. I also loved the diverse cast of characters. As always, heist plots are a fun read, and the found family trope is one of my favorites. Bardugo's other books within this universe, including the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which takes place before Six of Crows, and the King of Scars duology, which takes place after Six of Crows, are also enjoyable, although Six of Crows and subsequently Crooked Kingdom are her best pieces of work in terms of general writing style and audience reception. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out our Discord server and our Instagram post about Six of Crows, which will be linked in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.